today. This is the furthest point you ever came. You could have had good years and old years and past years and last years, but you ain't never been this far before. This is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. I'm telling you, Jesus been good to you. You thought you was going to be dead in 98, but here you are in a new day. Doing a new thing. Won't Jesus do it? Won't Jesus do it? After the doctor said you would never, Jesus said not so. Won't Jesus do it?
Come on now.
See, you crying about the wrong thing. What you need to be shouting about is, I'm here with my sickness. I'm here with my trouble. I'm here with my pain. And Jesus is good to me. Oh, I know he is. I know he is. All I'm trying to do is get you, as we get into the Word, we'll be as brief the Holy Ghost will allow. I want you to see, you ain't never been here before. And I just was speaking this, it is ridiculous. It is absolutely ludicrous for us to believe that we can do something we ain't never done before and do it accurately. The steps of a good man. Oh, somebody read the Bible. Hebrews chapter number 10. Verse 23 through verse 25. And the Bible reads, let us hold fast the profession of our faith without wavering, for he is faithful that promised. Let us consider one another to provoke unto love and to good works, not forsaking the assembling of ourselves together as the manner of some is, but exhorting one another, and so much the more as ye see the day approaching. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. If you would turn to someone near to you and just tell them, conforming to Jesus. Conforming to Jesus. Conforming to Jesus. I tell you what, that if we are in the last and evil days, if we are in perilous time, if this is a new day we ain't never seen before, never touched before, you can't tell me what's going to happen at 3 o'clock. You ain't been to 3 o'clock. Absolutely. Every step you take, every breath you take right now is a new one. Do you know that breath you're taking, you know those steps you're taking, those plans you're making, people, that's called grace. Time that you shouldn't have had, didn't deserve, but Jesus did it anyway. Does anybody know how grace works? Grace is why you can give the testimony, I should have been dead. Grace is why you can say today, it should have been me. It would have been me. It could have been me. But Jesus, he kept me. That Jesus has, through his grace, given us this time in this period right now. For such a time as this. That Paul records and said, a measure of grace is given unto all of us. And he said that Jesus says then to the same Paul, not in the same situation, but he says to the same Paul, my grace is sufficient unto thee. So that whatever the grace that Jesus has given us is enough for us. Listen to this, people. This is mind-blowing, to handle whatever your right now is. Amen. Amen. That whatever grace Jesus has given us is enough for whatever evil the devil think he got planned for you. Amen. That this grace is not only sufficient, but here's what Paul said about the grace. He said, as no temptation taken us, but such as is common unto man. He said, I know all about it. Everybody in here is going through something. I'm going to get to where I'm going here in a second. He said, I know everybody in here is going through something, but God is faithful.
Good God. Good God.
Come on now. That you have found out that throughout the unknown, there has been something known that you can trust in.
Come on now.
That if you trust in the Lord and lean not on your own understanding, you find out he'll find a way. He'll make a way. Maybe not everybody, just 2-3 witnesses at least, can say, if it had not been for Jesus, being on my side, if he didn't open the door for me, if he didn't fix it for me, if he didn't make a way for me, where would I be? I don't believe in luck. I don't buy into fortune. I know it was Jesus. The blood that Jesus had shed for me. That's what kept me. That's what fixed it for me. Having that understanding, knowing then that it's now grace, then we realize now as we have now been sold under grace, and you're going to hear people talk about the blessing. Yes, you are blessed. Yes, grace is yours. Yes, Jesus is good to you. Yes, he loves you and he will never stop loving you. Yes, he keeps you and he will never reject you. However, when we get here in Hebrews 10, we start talking about now the responsibilities, the covenant that the Jesus people are under, because a covenant is an agreement between two people. You can't have a covenant that just only goes one way.
That's it. That's it.
You can't have a covenant that just goes only one way. Paul addresses the matter and said, shall we continue to sin that grace should abide? God forbid. He said that we understand now how grace works. However, a covenant don't just work one way. You still with me right now? This is the part where normally half of y'all want to turn it off, but listen to me a little while longer. Because when we start talking about what it is that the church, the people of God, the people that are sealed unto the day of redemption, covered by the blood of the Lamb, what we're responsible for, that's what we don't want to talk about. And so it continually keeps us doing nothing. This word conform, as it is a synonym, means the same thing as come together. Paul says in Romans 12:2, be ye no longer conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. And all that means is we cannot come together under what the world says we got to come together. We got to come together under Jesus. Amen. But if we're going to come together differently, we got to change the way we think. The only problem with us is that when we are in a broken condition, non-functional, not working, we then simply think that somehow somebody's supposed to fix us.
You see what I'm saying? Amen.
But what we forget is you can't fix Jesus. What are you saying? I'm saying you want somebody to fix you. Jesus saying come out of you. There is no fix. The blood fix you. The Bible says he changed everything through the veil that is his flesh. That's what fixed you. So what happens is that we now, people that are love Jesus, that are followers of Jesus, that believe that Jesus died with us in mind, that we often forget our responsibilities, and then we revert back into thinking somebody has to fix us. And so the church cannot be of help to other people because we still need to be fixed. Jesus said, if you continue in my word, you are my disciples indeed, and ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. The problem is that we are bound even though we're free.
That's right.
That we're two things at the same time. And you can't help anybody if you always helpless. Oh, Jesus. Real quiet. You cannot help anyone in need if you always in need. As a matter of fact, if someone asked you something and you didn't have it, that would be your reason for not helping them. I would help you if I had it, but I ain't even got it myself. That you cannot help anyone. I want you to get this. You can't give what you ain't got. Isaiah said his word comes down just like rain, that it might give seed to the sower and bread to the eater. That there has to be some functional Jesus, if you will. There got to be some relational Jesus, if you will. There got to be some real life every day, on time, all the time, anytime. That's what we need working in our life. And this Jesus is love. And so therefore, if that's not working, we got to get to what ain't working. And so if it is that we are waiting then to be fixed, because that's what we're waiting on. We're waiting on revival. We're waiting on the church to catch on fire. We're waiting on something else. We're going to go this building, this service, this person doing this thing, and we're waiting on something to happen that ain't going to happen because you the reason it ain't happening.
Keep on waiting.
Because when something or someone does not know, or when a person does not know the purpose of a thing, he will pervert it. He will misuse it.
That's right.
If you don't know shoes go on your feet, you might put them on top of your head.
That's right.
You won't be able to use it properly. Therefore, it won't function like it was intended. Still with me? So if you don't know it, you're bound to misuse it. And sometimes we'll talk about all this grace, shout about all this grace, but we don't know how to work it. We don't know how to use it. And therefore, we misuse the purpose of it. So he said, don't use your grace. Tell the Bible. As liberty occasion against your brothers. Oh, Jesus. You mean to say we ain't the first person who could misuse some grace? You around here shouting about how you healed. You acting like it's because you were just praying good.
Not so.
Because see, it's because I came to church. You didn't come to church. You had to came. The Bible said that in that day there'll be some that have a form of godliness. Here's the fear, but denying the power thereof. When I start having stuff that I got that didn't come from my source, the question then becomes, where did I get it from? He said, from such turn away. There going to be people that talking about how healed they are and blessed they are, and ain't talking about no Jesus. There going to be people talking about how good their day is and how well they're living, and they don't mention the name of Jesus. He said, from such turn away. I got to make sure I don't become one of those people. Are you with me right there? Everybody will work
Amen.
on someone else. Oh, my G, you need some deliverance and prayer. Let me get my tools out. Prayer warrior on your behalf, because it's easier to deal with other people than it is ourselves.
That's right.
Amen.
Jesus said you got to pull that thing out of your eye before you get the thing out of their eye. But then, the problem is you don't want to deal with your thing. Nothing is realer than me, than my own personal pain. What I'm saying is, I can tell you about mine. You can have the exact same pain I got, but you can't feel it like I can feel it. So you can say all this stuff that I should do to it. Do this, go home, get you some tweezers, pull it, push it, all that stuff. And the reason why I won't mess with it, even though you saying that's what'll fix it, is because it hurts when I touch it. And there's something about dealing with the flesh and then transition over to things of the spirit, and you'll find out anybody who's ever really been delivered, it's going to make you just a little bit uncomfortable. You'll get on some old stuff, it'll hurt when you touch it. So in order to then get through to the healing, to the glory, you got to go through a little pain. Still here with me? Jesus said that all civilization is like a woman in travail.
That's right.
That before you can get to the glory, you got to go through the pain. And then when the glory comes, all the other pain disappears. Then when the glory comes, all the other pain disappears. When Jesus healed you, you forget about all them nights you were crying, all them nights you were worried. All you know is that he made a way somehow. That Jesus, he fixed it for you. The Bible said that we are not waver. He said we shouldn't waver in this mind, because we know that Jesus, he's faithful. We understand the purpose of the grace that we've been given. That you have not been called into salvation just so you can tell people you're saved. Amen. You have not been called into salvation just so you can say, well, I know I ain't going to hell. That is not the purpose of the grace that Jesus has given you. That if you got the grace, if you got the talents, just like Jesus said in the parable, you got to go occupy until I come.
That's right. Thank you, Jesus.
He didn't even say that he expected user. He said, take what I got and occupy. Change the atmosphere. Then when he sent the 70 out 2 by 2, still in the Bible, he told them go and just occupy. He said, let the grace fall on the house. You ain't got to go tear down the house. You ain't got to go put the people out the house. He said all they got to do is mess around and let you in the house. Listen to what he said. He says, stay there until they put you out. Oh my Jesus, what a command. What a decree. He said go to their house, and if they let you in, go. And stay there until they put you out. Occupy. Sit right there and let your grace abide on the house. Let your peace fall on the house. Let them see how good Jesus is. Then tell them the kingdom of God is at hand. The same Jesus. He begins to say, here in Hebrews 10, he says that we have this responsibility. That the responsibility that we have is according to the grace that we have received. If you don't have nothing, you ain't got to do nothing. But to whom much is given. If you ain't never received nothing, obviously you don't have anything to give. But if you got this joy of Jesus, you ain't going to be able to hide it on the inside.
That's right.
It's going to have to transmit to somebody else on the outside. So here's what he said.